All right, I'm going to go live on our stream. I think we are still waiting on a few more people, so we'll give just a minute or two, see who hops on, and then we'll get started. All right, welcome to the May Business Relations Committee Downtown Management Board meeting. I appreciate your patience in this transition. I'll be trying to lead the meeting today, so please let me know if you have any concerns or questions. Seeing that our chairperson is driving, I'll call this meeting to order, and we can start out with roll call. So if you can please state your name and where you're tuned in from, since we are on the online format, that will be recorded. So first, Chairperson Crouch.
I am present in Ingham County.
Quinn.
I'm present. I am in East Lansing, Clinton County.
Hackney. You are muted right now.
Sorry. I'm 90 years old. Present, East Lansing, Ingham County.
And staff member Rawson.
Present from Bloomfield Hills, Oakland County.
Schuessler Smith. You're muted as well, but it's weird because I can hear you through the.
Sorry, guys. I am present. Not a good start for my last meeting. Present in East Lansing, Michigan, Ingham County.
And I'm Gabby Vizicaro, also present in East Lansing, Ingham County. So first up, we have approval of the agenda. Are there any changes or amendments? We can go for a roll call vote then. Crouch.
We need a motion to approve the agenda. A motion to approve.
I'll support that.
Okay, I'll bring the motion to roll call vote. Crouch.
Yes.
Quinn.
Yes.
And Hackney.
Yeah.
Awesome. So we're going to move ahead to communications. And first, I just have some staff updates. So part of our placemaking project, we actually just added some new team members that are awesome. They're great at some marketing material that we're going to upload to socials and hopefully some other outlets. We actually just did a trivia, which was a lot of fun. I'm excited for people to see it. Some more signage. We also just added curbside spots, so bright pink spots marking where the curbside parking spots are. Adam's also getting some more tables and chairs and lights and things. Also being brought to council tonight is the approval of the special assessment, well, pending approval, but with the board's recommendation. Also at council tonight is the pending approval of the Albert Street closure out in front of some of the businesses there, and we're excited about that prospect. That's all I have. Amy or Marissa, do you have any other updates? Okay. we can move ahead to consideration to limit public comment to 2 minutes. As you know, since we're on the Zoom, we are advised to limit public comments to 2 minutes per individual. If approved, the recommended verbiage is a motion to adopt a rule to limit public comment to 2 minutes per individual.
I'll make that motion. Crouch.
Luke Hackney, support.
Okay, roll call vote. Crouch,
Yes.
Quinn,
Yes.
and Hackney.
Yes.
Okay, let me just make sure there's no one joined in. Okay, I don't see any public commenters, but I did see that Jesse joined us. So if you just want to share where you're joining us from.
Hey, yep, joining virtually from East Lansing, Michigan, Ingham County.
Thank you. So I think we can move ahead to the treasurer's report. I think Amy's gonna hop on for this. You're muted, Amy, just so you know.
As we usually do, I'm going to start with page 2. So not a ton of activity yet this month, but I think that there's probably going to be some final activity for our final fiscal year month of June. So in terms of expenditures, you're certainly looking at the direct work order salaries and benefits that primarily go towards our interns, and then the computer rental. The call loop, which is that subscription that we use so that we can do text messages and alerts out about, business activities or events, or if there has to be some sort of road closure or things like that. That was the $29 a month subscription. We will have one more of those yet. The other thing is that the marketing committee did discuss a possible $2,500 sponsorship for the art festival, again, during their subcommittee meeting earlier this month. So that is something that you will be looking at for full board consideration at your June 2nd meeting. And I think it's probably safe to say that at this point, we're probably not going to spend any funds on yard signs if that initiative picks up a lot. Maybe that's something you look at when the new fiscal year funds come in July 1. So to date, you have approximately $5,000 or so remaining. And I think that what you're probably going to find in June is that about $2,500 of that will go towards the art festival if the board approves that. And I do believe that there might be a request coming from Mr. Cummins for some software updates that are going to benefit the downtown. So be forthcoming to hear about that for your June board meeting. And I'm happy to answer any questions anyone has. Okay. I will move it back over to Gabby.
All right, so next up we have our East Lansing historical tour. So I know we've discussed this at previous meetings, and I wanted to show kind of the draft version that we have set up to get approved and make sure we're all on the same page, or if there's anything you'd like to add. This is available, will be once we publish it on our web app. And I think it's, good to have some more information on there to, encourage people to use it. So there's just 10 kind of little highlights. I tried to involve businesses in each of them. Just a nice little snippet, and obviously brings you to these locations to check out. Any thoughts? This isn't available to the public yet. That's why I'm using this kind of online version, but yeah, that's what we're looking at. I know we discussed also maybe doing a art installation tour of the murals and the sculptures around town. I think that'd be fun, maybe closer to the art festival, if this is something we're interested in, marketing to the public and such. So let me know.
What we see on the screen is the staff report.
Okay.
I don't know if you can screen share the.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Now can
There
you
you
see
go.
it?
Perfect.
Okay.
So they can see that.
So this is what's available on the web app.
Oh, that looks really cool.
I think it's just something fun. You know, they're walking around. Like I said, some of the businesses are highlighted. Dublin was the first post office. I know we talked about that. Just some of the book places, Pinball Pete's. That's what we have right now. I think 10 spots is solid, but if there is anything you'd like to add, you can obviously mention it now or reach out and we can get that added. Even once it's published, we can edit it. So that's kind of what we're looking at. And if there's no other thoughts, our next item is the calendar of events. So we can kind of decide strategically where we would want to market that or when perhaps. So that's kind of our next piece of the meeting here. So these are annual events that we've supported or been a part of in the past. The turnover, obviously July 1, will allow more involvement with the additional funds. This allows for kind of opening a discussion about our event plans as we move forward. Are you seeing the, let's go back to this one. Okay. Now we're seeing the calendar, I'm assuming.
Yes, we are.
Cool. So like Amy mentioned, there was Heather Mahano joined us at the marketing board or marketing committee meeting to discuss that sponsorship and some other information, which we'll bring to the full board next week. But this is what we're looking at right now. June, we have the farmers market coming in, jazz festival. I know Adam has talked about quartet performances. There's concert series. We're working on some other art stuff. And then we move into some of the fall months here.
So I guess the question is, when do we want to launch this? Is that what we're looking at?
Yes, this is also just to keep in mind as far as, you know, funding as we move forward. We could decide when to launch the historical tour or just do it as soon as possible. I didn't know if anyone had strong opinions about that necessarily, but just something to think about this calendar here.
I mean, I don't see any reason why we would wait for anything to push anything around. I mean, it's just something to offer people and get it out there. So, I mean, I think it gives us something else, another talking point of, you know, why to come down to Lansing. So,
Right.
I mean, I don't think it's going to be a big to do where we need to make sure that there's space or time for it or anything. I mean, it's just kind of people are just doing it as they do it. So,
Right.
I would just, you know, roll it out as is, and we can add stuff as we go. And if people say, hey, you know, this is a good idea, you forgot about this, or how about we add this, we can add it as we go and just make it a rolling kind of tour, if you will.
Sure. That sounds great.
Yeah, I think that that's fine. I think we could also like rolling it out doesn't mean that we can't do something later to like advertise it on a larger scale too. Like
Right.
we can put it out now, and if we decide to add it into being a major component to some event later on, we can still do that.
I would agree with that.
And just keep this in mind with the caveat that some of it is still pending approval with COVID restrictions, and they definitely will look a little bit different than past events, but this is what is in the books for right now. Any other thoughts on the calendar or anything for the good of the order?
No, but I mean, over time, I'm sure we'll start adding more stuff back in too that as we kind of figure out what this fall is going to be like once the restrictions are lifted, I'm sure we'll probably be interested in adding more stuff. So I'm sure I'll come up with some crazy idea at some point in time for you.
We're counting on it. Another thing I didn't mention in the updates is the Graduate Hotel is having a soft opening within the next few weeks, and then they fully open June 14th, I believe. So that's also something to keep in mind. We might want to, you know, schedule something or even just a media post. That's just stuff going on in the area. So if there's nothing else, I think we can move to adjournment.
Does anybody else have anything they want to share about events or anything moving forward? No?
Good.
No, yeah, I think
Okay.
that makes sense.
Okay, yeah, I think
motion to adjourn.
Yeah, I guess real quick though, I mean, something I have been thinking about a lot is just, I mean, obviously we're not quite there yet, but something that I'd like to get back our radar when it's more possible would be the like the business soirees. I just feel like we need that now more than ever. Not just because of, you know, everything that's going on, but also there's just become a huge disconnect. Like I get calls from at least one business owner a day that's not happy about something, right? And it's like, yeah, how do we kind of reconcile that? And I think a start is just these people getting to know each other better.
Yeah, I definitely think if we I think probably as the restrictions get lifted over the summer, I think in the fall, I know I saw it on the calendar in the spring, but I wouldn't be opposed to potentially fitting 2 of them in there in a smaller period of time than we normally do. And just giving people multiple options. You know, also sometimes management turnover can be high over the course of a full year. So when we're doing like one a year, you might not get the same people showing up every time. So I don't have a problem like trying to do it a couple of them kind of in a row as we get more direction on what's going to be happening, like in terms of what people are doing in the fall. I would assume that by the fall probably would be okay to do. So
for sure.
Fingers crossed.
They basically pay for themselves, if I remember correctly. I mean, it seems like the sponsorships are usually there.
Yeah, and I think that people like the chamber, things like that, probably have would want stuff like this to happen because they need their businesses to survive,
100%.
type of thing. So this is, you know, kind of like a goodwill thing that we could probably get some money for small businesses to, you know, market together and figure out ways to do that. So yeah, I definitely think that I know that was I was thinking about the same thing. So I know that's on there for the spring, and I don't want to necessarily move the one in the spring, but maybe add one in like the late fall or winter, you know, and it doesn't take a lot to put on. It's not like we need heavy staff time once it's kind of already planned.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I feel like you and Amy probably did most of it yourselves in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not, I mean, it's also income. A lot is also on the venue that does it. So that's what's nice is like we're paying someone to kind of do most of the work.
Yeah.
So yeah, if we could just keep that in mind for the fall, potentially adding that.
Yeah, I think that's definitely something to consider, especially with the amount of new businesses or ones we've lost. I think it'd be a good.
Yeah, and even like getting some of the bigger like developments around town. I know we were able to get money from whatever it's called, the apartment across the street from Harper's. I'm blanking. Before for it. So I'm sure like potentially, Newman Lofts. I'm sure we could maybe the Graduate or something like that. If they're opening, they want to like, you know, probably it would be ideal for them to want businesses to recommend the Graduate, I'm assuming. So that would be another good place that we have looking at the developments that are happening for funding.
I think Sarah Gregory, the new general manager of that place, is kind of actively looking for things kind of like this to do. So that would be great.
They may even have a space in there that they could host it in too, because we haven't, like, to move it around. They may have like I'm assuming they have like food or something somewhere. I don't know. I don't know much about it, but they probably have a space we could also do it there too. I don't know.
Yeah.
And like maybe they want to show off the hotel, you know, like we could do tour, you know, or something like that. That may be a good starting point for the next one for funding.
I know they are doing tours during the soft opening, the first couple
Yeah, I
weeks.
saw that.
But like you said, they're definitely going to want, you know, some promo, so we can reach out and kind of make that connection for this event or just other ways to get involved.
Yeah.
I think they also, if I'm not mistaken, are the other sponsor of the art festival, and they suggested doing like a printed out ad for their sponsorship. So that's something we'll discuss at the board meeting as well.
Okay. The other thing that's not on there, and I think, well, maybe it is, I don't know. I don't want to forget about the idea of trying to do like a weekend in East Lansing, whether it's next summer or when.
I think you got muted, Chanel.
So add like a staycation.
Yeah, the staycation.
Mm.
Yes,
Yeah.
the soirees on there, but definitely something we can move up a little
Like
bit.
that doesn't have to be like on a date specifically. I just want to keep, I think that idea could benefit the image of East Lansing with the people that live here. So
I agree. Yeah, we will keep that in mind.
okay. I think there's a motion to adjourn unless anybody else has any other last comments. We should probably thank
You have a
Amy
speech,
since this is
don't
her
you?
What?
I said, you have a speech prepared, don't you? Or does Amy?
Yes, I have a speech. Amy, this is your last meeting, correct?
This is my last meeting, yes. So I just want to thank you. I want to just take a moment and say it has sincerely been a pleasure working with everyone. I have really enjoyed my time. I have learned a lot about, you know, downtown business relations, and I've had a great fun with events and community outreach and always working with excellent teams of interns. I feel like every year or every couple of years, we've been really fortunate. As board members, your commitment to the board has been exemplary, and I really appreciate our partnership. And I really believe that I made some friendships along the way, which I still appreciate. So thank you so much for everything. My last day at the city will be Friday, and then I'm moving on to the MEDC. So I will see what it's like at the statewide level. But sincerely, it's been a pleasure. And I know that you guys are in great hands. I know that Gabby and Adam and Marissa are going to lead you into great and new things. And then, you know, perhaps eventually my replacement will come in and work with you guys as well. So they're fortunate to work with each of you. So thank you very much for the
Well,
opportunity.
we thank you. You've been the city is definitely going to miss you. You're definitely one of the best assets of the city. So
For sure.
I'm sure we are sad to lose you.
It's so weird.
But
I looked it up. My first meeting was in 2013.
Yeah.
It's a solid 8 years of having to deal with me. So thank you for that.
Not deal with, Luke. Appreciate and work with. So yeah, it's bittersweet, but I'm still an East Lansing resident, so you know, you guys will hopefully still see me out and about, and so yeah, I plan to still be downtown and support downtown and use my gift cards and, you know, be around. So
alrighty, well,
thank you for everything.
thank you and good luck.
Thank you.
I'm sure you'll do great.
Thank you.
All right, I will second the motion to adjourn.
Okay, we'll move into a roll call vote then. Crouch,
Yes.
Quinn,
Yes.
and Hackney.
Yes. Thank you, Chanel.
All right, thank you.
Jesse's on the meeting too, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but I actually don't know if I'm on this subcommittee, but I'll vote to adjourn.
Perfect. We have a consensus. All right, thank you, everyone. I appreciate it, and we'll see you next week.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Bye.
Amy, are you showing up to council tonight so I can give you a hard time?
I am absolutely going to be at council. I have 3 agenda items, Mayor Pro Tem.
Well,
I
I
mean,
figured, but you
I'm
know,
gonna go
like,
out with a bang.
you're all like 1 foot out the door now. Maybe you delegated it to a subordinate or something. But
No,
I
no,
want a
I
chance
will
to say
be
goodbye,
there.
so.
We're gonna talk
All right, I'll
CDBG
see
budget.
ya.
We're gonna hopefully approve the principal shopping district. I'm gonna,
We're gonna
hopefully
pass
lay
you
a
on
scene
all.
for the next person, so.
Awesome.
I
Okay,
will be
well, I'll
there.
see you tonight.
Okay, thanks all. Bye.